We're covering tips and tricks on how to be a great commissioner, and the show starts right now. Welcome back. It's Bob's Three-Toed Warriors from Studio 1329 with the Word on the Streets, Season 1, Episode 22. And today, the show, we're going to be giving you tips and tricks on how to be a great commissioner, because you got to be a great commissioner or people are going to leave. Or maybe you aren't the commissioner at all. Maybe you just want to share this video with your commissioner so they can get off their butt and be a good commissioner. That's totally okay too. But I didn't want to do this on my own. I want to bring in, great talent. So like any good commissioner, you're going to bring on great members, great guests to make things better. And today I have none other than Commissioner Breeze. Commissioner Breeze, what's going on, sir? What's the word?
Hey, man, I'm just glad that you got me here on the show finally. We previously talked about linking up and getting together. So here we are, man. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I mentioned in the pre-show that you helped me move along and kind of get into this Twitter world, not even intentionally, just being a good guy that you are. And, it was motivational and it kept me going. And then all of a sudden, here we are with the record button. So where can they find your work since you are so motivational and like to talk fantasy football? Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at MCBreeze11. And there you will find me posting inspirational stuff, mostly fantasy football stuff, but sometimes inspirational stuff because sometimes people just need to hear that to start their day.
Sure. If you're watching on the YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're listening on podcast audio, please hook me up, subscribe, and give me a 5-star rating. I greatly appreciate it. There is the Fantasy Football Hump Day Happy Hour. That's a lot of words. The Fantasy Football Hump Day Happy Hour on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central. The first one is starting already. You guys don't even know it. In the real world, it's starting this Wednesday. In the podcast world, it was like a week or two ago because I like to pre-record when I can. So don't miss the episodes. They're a lot of fun. You can get in there and you can ask questions and make comments and whatever you need to do. It's a good time. So we won't waste any more time. How to be a great commissioner. So I'm going to start with engage with your league, the how and the why. To me, that's a big one. Engaging with your league. What's some ways that you kind of like to engage with your leagues, Commish?
Well, one of the things that I've discovered during my time as a commissioner is I like to establish relationships with whoever my league members are. What that does is you have a rapport there, something that you can build on over time if you do things the right way. If you decide to make a league rule change or roster format change, you have less resistance because of what, the relationship that you establish with your league mates. That's one way. Another way is, we all here for fantasy football during the regular season, but what about the off season when there is no fantasy football? It could be something quick as a quick text. Hey, how's life? Hey, how's your family? Hey, how was your day? It's just little stuff like that. It goes a long way.
Yep. People find it harder to leave leagues where they know and like the people they play with. And I don't know about you, but most of my leagues are local leagues where you can try and get together and draft together, things like that. Do you play most? I know you said you commission 3 leagues. Do you play most of your leagues as all around the country, world, just more random, or are they more local people? Is there any rhyme or reason for you?
Funny story. When I first started commissioning, that's how I actually got introduced into fantasy football. I went straight into being a commissioner. It would have been nice to have some tutelage along the way to know what to expect as a fantasy football commissioner. But that year one, I had to learn all that stuff on the fly.
All right.
So it was a sharp learning curve.
Oh yeah.
You know, and what I appreciate about going through this process was the league mates that I had, you know, they were with me along the way, even though they knew that I was just stepping out here for the first time.
Okay.
You know, so I kind of lost track of what was the question you was asking?
Mostly local leagues or remote
Oh
leagues?
yeah. So it started locally, but you know, over time as you know we evolve, so has my league. So now my league mates are scattered abroad throughout the country as well as Canada too. So
Okay.
it has stretched quite far and wide since I started back in 2012.
Okay. All right. The Canadian teammates you have, are they are opponents you have? They a little more friendly when they beat you? Oh, good day. I beat you. No, I'm just kidding.
That's probably a nice way of putting it.
It's probably way too nice, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So live drafts, we kind of talked about that. You said hooking them up and sending messages to them. You ever do any kind of like get-togethers with the local people? Anything like that, like in the off season? Ever tried any of those kind of things?
It's a little bit challenging because you know you have league mates, or at least personally speaking, I have league mates who work multiple jobs, so
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to kind of arrange stuff like that. But what I do to try to compensate for that, you know, I can reach out to them on Facebook Messenger. I can reach out to them, you know, WhatsApp. I can reach out to them on GroupMe or whichever way of communication that we have, so we can kind of just stay in touch.
That's exactly leads really well into my next question. Do you settle in on one kind of league chat for the league itself, and it might change by league? Like I have some people that I play with that are just on Twitter. So we'll make a Twitter group, that kind of thing, and then we'll make a Facebook group. But do you find that it's easy to get people on the same format, not on the same communication? You got that one straggler who never listens and never finds out that there's a vote going on or when the draft is, or what do you find there?
Me, I mean, the way I like to operate organized and do it efficiently. So I prefer to all be on one site, so that I ain't gotta try to find, you know, so and so here. This is what we doing in this league, or whatever the case may be. Or also, I have a Facebook group for each league to, you know, anything league related going on, info will be posted there, so they can look at it. They'll be notified since they're already, you know, linked and tagged into the league already through Facebook.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, to me, as commissioner, especially when you're commissioning multiple leagues, I will literally send a message that says, "Hey, tell your co-host that he needs to check the league board."
Yeah.
You tell him I'm not chasing him down. I've already sent messages.
Exactly.
Here, you know.
I mean, our time is too valuable to try to chase people down. You know.
Yeah. You know, I'm a little bit more lenient. I started a friends and family group. We're going into our 4th year. So that first year or two, when they're all like, we're talking about the wives were in it, you know, just a lot of new people to fantasy football, never played or played 1 year. I was a lot more lenient on the, you nurse those people along, right?
Right.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about, what do you do when someone wins it all? Now your situation might be a little different because we're coming from 2 different angles, which I kind of like this, because you're more dispersed and I'm more local in a lot of my leagues. So in a more dispersed league, what do you guys do for the winner? And some leagues are probably cash, some leagues probably aren't, some leagues probably have a prize, some leagues probably don't. How do you guys usually sit there?
So for my leagues, each league is different, but one commonality that all my leagues have is when a person that wins it all, they usually get whatever the top cash prize is from that league, plus a championship trophy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just get their information and, mail it to their address. Then, of course, when they get it, they go rub it in our faces.
Oh, yeah.
Look at me. I got the,
Oh, yeah. Now, is this a trophy? Does it float, or is it just a one-time trophy? This is, boom, their trophy.
No, this is their trophy, to keep forever.
All right. Okay. Not Stanley Cup. It's not coming back. All right.
Yeah, it's not coming back.
All right. Yeah. So we've never done the belts. I've won a ring from one show. That's kind of cool because every once in a while I'll do a show with him and I'll just creep the ring in there and
yeah,
jerk. But we do a lot of trophies. I've gone to the best trophies I found are not in line until they're a sponsor. Then that might be the best. Goodwill and thrift stores. I bought in a vase thing. I bought in a big old lampshade thing. It's cool. Took off the lamp, took out the guts of it, spray painted it silver, like trophy aluminum, painted it up and stuff. And it's just a beastly heavy. One of them looks like a Stanley Cup thing. Something creative to pass around locally. I could not imagine trying to ship these because these things probably weigh 20 pounds a piece.
Woo!
Yeah, they're heavy.
Yeah. I'll tell you, man. I've shipped a handful of trophies, and that shipping price it's not cheap.
You need to order them directly from the exactly. Amazon or someone else cheap right to their house.
Yeah, cut the middleman right on out.
Exactly. That's cool. I do love having some kind of trophy, even in our free leagues. Just something to talk smack. The ladies have won the couples league all 3 years. It's very annoying, and they put flowers in it, and they've all kinds of demeaning stuff to us guys. So whatever. All right.
For them.
So now let's go to the other end of the spectrum. So you got the winner of the league.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all well and good.
Mm-hmm.
You probably got second and third place, and they probably get a little bit of that coin if it's a cash league.
Mm-hmm.
How about that slacker in the league? That person who just sucked. Yeah, any kind of league punishment you guys do, or anything like that, or do you do a toilet bowl, which is usually the winner of the league, but.
In the past, in my work league that I run, I used to have it where whoever finished in last place for the following season had to pay their own league fee plus the Champions League fee for that season.
That's nice. Nice little added bonus.
Yeah. It's just a nice way of saying I'm the man. If you want to be where I'm at, this you got to do whatever. But I've kind of laid off of that sort as of late. But in my main league, we have what you mentioned a few moments ago, the toilet bowl, where whoever finished in seventh place, they receive the number one pick for the following season.
Yeah.
So that's something to play for right there.
Yeah, that's a huge one, and that rolls into my next one. Before we go there, a league punishment we have is $10 online. We got a loser's license plate. I suck at fantasy football. One of the guys backed up to Home Depot or somewhere to like a loading dock or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple, 2-3 guys are sitting there getting ready to load up all the stuff, fridge, whatever is in the truck. And they just are laughing when he walks up, and he's like, "What?" And then they're pointing at his license plate. It's good stuff right there.
Oh man, how embarrassing!
Yeah, another guy, he did not put his plate on because he was a loser, but his wife was the champion, and so his plate has disappeared. So they are going to find it or a new one, and B, his punishment for not having on for the last 4 months is I think we're going to make him dress up a blow-up doll and take it out to dinner at like a sports bar, and we're going to be sitting at a different table.
Yeah,
and just sitting there mocking him having dinner with So you got to take the punishments. So
that'll make you step your game up real fast. Not to be in that position.
So you said doing the losers bracket, and and using that as a motivation to get that first seed in a redraft, not in a dynasty, just in a redraft.
Right, redraft, yes.
Yeah. So that's a neat take. So how do you guys usually position that? So it's like a 12-team league, and the seventh person on down. Is that how the picks go?
The seventh place winner, we'll pick first. Then it'll start from 12th being the second pick, 11th place being have the third pick, and then it'll just go in the regular order.
Okay. So the second winner in the toilet bowl doesn't get the second pick.
No.
Okay. Oh man, that's all or nothing.
Pretty much.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we usually do it the other way, where it just descends on down because it's redraft. But I like that. That's a nice little. That's a little more aggressive.
Yeah, it's funny because that should have been me for this year, picking first in my main league, but I lost to the seventh place winner in the last week of the regular season, or week 16 of last year. So I was pretty bummed out about that.
All right. What about? Do you play much dynasty or mostly redraft or?
Yeah, I'm primarily a redraft player, but I have ventured off into dynasty quite a bit. Last year was my first time really getting out there. It's like it's a whole.
Did you commission that one too? That was your first time doing that? I'm just kidding.
Not dynasty. I don't know if I can hang with dynasty. I mean, I think 3 leagues is enough on my plate as is.
I hear you, man. I hear you. So in a dynasty league I run, what we do for the losers bracket is the person who wins the toilet bowl, they don't get the first pick because it's dynasty. Okay. So those picks matter, right? So the worst team gets the first pick on down to the champion. But whoever does win that seventh spot or wins the toilet bowl, however you want to say that, they get bumped 2 more spots in the draft.
Oh, okay.
So if they would have been the sixth pick, now they're the 4th pick. If they were they had a nice comeback, they would have been they finished 10th, but they won. Now they actually would get the first pick. So gives people a little bonus without killing everybody else in the
right. I like that.
Yeah, it's just something to mess around with, right?
Yeah.
So speaking of different leagues, I have a listener league promotion. For those who haven't heard it, we're giving away the last 3 spots of the listener league. It's going to be an auction draft, and you can get in by doing one of these 2 things. I'm going to draw 2 names of people who give me a 5-star review and take a picture of it and send it to me at Bob's3Toad. And then I'm also going to give away 1 spot for someone who is the most creative in telling me why you deserve to be in the league. So that could be a little, some words, a couple sentences. It could be a story. It could be a song. I don't really care what it is. I just want to, have an entertaining way to hear why you should deserve to be in the league, and you must include something about about the show in there. So do that. Time is running out. I'm going to be pulling those up soon and closing out the people in the league because that's my rule. And speaking of rules, what do you do about rules and laws, Commissioner Breeze? Go on the old commissioner uniform and.
I mean, my thing is when it comes to rules and laws, you want to have it in place so that you can hold yourself along with other league mates in that league accountable for how they conduct themselves in that league. It's okay to disagree with somebody about a trade or player, whatever the case may be, but do it respectfully. Don't have a nasty attitude or approach about it. So that's one of the reasons why rules are in place. And then it also depends on like the makeup of your league to the extent of which how in depth you want to make the rules for that league. Like you said, you play with people that's local. So you might not have to be as extensive when laying out the groundwork for however your league is set up. So if you playing with people like me, who's kind of scattered abroad, you might want to be a little bit more in depth if your relationship with that person isn't to the point where you like it to be. So that's why you want to have rules in place, because if somebody overstep that boundary, the commissioner can act upon accordingly to make whatever discretion he or she chooses to make to that individual.
Yeah. So do you have that as a written league constitution, or how does that work in your leagues? And what do you recommend?
For my leagues, what I do is through my Facebook group chats that I mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Be going into the season, I will outline, any upcoming rule changes,
Sure.
what to expect. If you have any gripes of concerns, reach out to me. I'm more than willing to make an adjustment if I have to. And that's something right there a lot of commissioners could be not as eager to do, because I can tell you, people reach out to me all the time about how commissioners in their league, they're stagnant. They're, unwilling to change for whatever reason. But you can't be like that as a commissioner, because what's going to happen is you're going to develop low morale within that league, and
Yeah.
it's going to force people to leave and join elsewhere. And that's what you don't want as a commissioner.
Yeah. You gotta be flexible. You can't always stay a
Yeah,
standard league, right?
Absolutely.
You missed that. Did you get that? You can't always stay a standard league. I'm messing with you. I have a standard league too. And I gotta admit, I gotta confess. Here's a commissioner confessional. I am commissioner of 2 leagues, and I commissioned 2. I'm gonna call them test leagues last year, so they didn't really count, but they were fun. We tested them. We didn't like them. They were gone. But I do not have a league constitution. I probably should. I should probably have some rules out there, hard and fast written rules. But to me, the biggest rule is don't cheat.
Yeah.
As long as we're not cheating, we should be pretty good. But there are other rules that come into play, but a lot of those can be defined by the site. But sooner or later, I'm going to sit down and make a league constitution. I say that. I'm 3 and 4 years into these leagues, and I haven't yet. And then I just started a podcast. So if we're being truthful, I'm probably never going to make a league constitution. Sorry, league mates, or I'm not sorry. I don't really know. Shame on me. I'm a bad commish. Commissioner Breeze, remind them real quick. We're not done with the show, but remind them one more time for us where they can find you when they have extra questions about your great commissionerness. It's a new word for us.
Yeah, sure. You can find me at MCBreeze11 on Twitter. You can DM me. I will respond as quick as I can. I'm happily available to answer anything fantasy football or commissioner related.
Absolutely. So you kind of mentioned something that I didn't have written in the show doc here. You kind of mentioned in the off season, or I don't know really when you kind of said it, but people sending a message or talking about doing changes to the league. How do you usually target league changes, league votes, league modifications, things like that? How do you usually tackle that? So
it's funny you mentioned that, because right now, the way I operate as a commissioner, I'm already looking at next season. Like this season is done. So when the season is happening,
the season might be done. Hush.
That's when like ideas start jumping for next season.
Yeah.
Like for example, in my work league, I was kind of bouncing an idea about maybe we should, do a keeper league. And I kind of just threw the idea around to some of my league mates, and it was like, yeah, maybe we should. And then, little stuff like that, you kind of just planting the seed for the direction you want to take your league for the following season. So, sometimes it just having that random moment, it could be week 3 during the regular season. An idea just popped out of my head out of nowhere. I'm just like, where did that come from? Let me jot that down before I lose it,
Yeah.
So when the end of the season comes, all the ideas that has popped in my head that's been written down, I can take a look at it and say, okay, this makes sense. I don't know if the league is ready for this. Maybe wait another year for this, etc. But
yeah,
I usually like to be 3 to 4 steps ahead when it comes to like making changes for the league, for the better or for the worse. Because for the longest time, I was a huge proponent against having the tight end position as a standalone position because of the volatility. Like I used to hate rostering tight ends because you don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Unless
but
you
got
now,
the top 3 or 4,
coming
right?
in, exactly. So coming into this season, it's actually a decent pool of tight ends that many would feel okay rostering. So somebody had mentioned to me, can you bring the tight end position back for next season for my work league? I said, sure. When it came time I can get into the system to make the change, I made the change. And you reached out to me and said, I appreciate that. I said, it's important, though, as a commissioner to listen to your league mates. They say, hey, what about this? What about that? You should give it some consideration because you want to, at the end of the day, you want to do what's best for the league. You want to make your league mates happy. You want to make the fantasy experience all that much better.
Yeah. Very true story. Absolutely true. We usually do it by vote. So the changes, for the most part, we do by vote, especially the big changes. And I usually go majority, unless it's like money or something extremely drastic. Then you need like everybody to go in on saying yes. But usually we do, as long as I can get that 7th person to say, yep, sounds good. I don't even care if that other joker isn't even checking the votes. Now, if I'm 1 vote away, I might call him up personally and say, hey, this is
right. Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I like doing it by vote myself. So makes it kind of makes them feel included.
Right.
So let's talk about which one do I go here first? Let's talk about one thing. I'm not going to put in my opinion here. Vetoes. Go.
I would say this as a commissioner. I would confess this. In the past, I was a strong proponent against vetoes.
Yeah.
Because if I see something that's clearly not right, I'm gonna step in and act upon that. But and this is mainly when it comes to like trades,
it's almost always around trades.
Yeah. So a lot of people have the intent on sending out a fair trade, but some of these offers, I be saying, oh my God, it's like you can't be serious with this. So now it's like whenever I see a trade get sent out and it goes through, I let it go through because at the end of the day, 1 or 2 things are going to happen. The player that you traded for either going to pan out and you're going to love it, or he might not pan out the way you hope and you're going to hate it. But at the end of the day, it was your decision.
Yep.
So
that's how
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, you might trade for the guy that breaks his hand the next week, right?
Yeah.
Seemed like you won the deal, and turns out you didn't. Yeah, or you might go crazy and quasi retire and burn his feet and everything else under the sun. So you never know what you're getting when you trade.
Now, I'll say this real quick. Only way I will veto something is if somebody's trying to trade a player. Let's just say, you get a notification on your sleep app saying so-and-so got injured. you want to throw him in a trade, but the guy you trading to hasn't been made aware of the situation, then I'm gonna jump in and say, "Come on, man, we can't do that, man.
Can't be
yeah,
shady.
you can't do that, man."
That is shady. Luckily, I haven't had to. I haven't had anything. I haven't vetoed anything yet, and nothing has been so terrible that it needed to be vetoed yet. Although in most of those leagues, I probably do 50% of the trading anyway. It's true. It's sad. Anyway, but I don't know. I hope I never run into that day because I don't want to have to do it. But some people gotta learn the hard way. And if I said it on another show, if someone's making really bad trades with someone, you need to make that other someone your new best friend and start trading with them since they're giving away the house.
Yeah.
You know, if JCPenney's has shoes on sale and you like those shoes, you need to go get them yourself.
Exactly.
You know, but yeah, I hopefully never have to veto something because to me, vetoes are just gross. So what kind of things should you avoid? Things that would make you a bad commissioner? I like this question. So, and you don't have to say any bad commissioners' names that you've seen in the past, but what things to you makes someone a bad commissioner, or maybe a non-effective commissioner, which is also a bad commissioner, but it's politer.
I mean, like I said earlier, you know, not listening to your league mates, you know, as far as moving the league forward.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, you can't evolve as a commissioner if you're stuck in your set of ways. At the end of the day, you know, what you're doing, running a league, you know, it should be bigger than you. It's about what's best for the league, you know. So not listening to your league mates is one. You know, also, you know, not willing to adapt. You know, for example, you know, you joke earlier about how I still play in standard league, right?
I'm into them.
You know, you have those people who say, "Man, I want to do half point."
Sure.
You know, and I'm like, no, this is the only way I know how to play fantasy football and standard. You know, it's like, how you go evolve? You know, it's like if everybody in the league is saying they want to go to half point, but you still saying I want to stick to standard. You know, you're probably gonna be shut down.
Probably just make the change and then send it over to Word on the Streets. They can check out the rankings and get the half point and the full point there. So we'll do it that way. You know, we'll help each other out there. How about this one? How about the commissioner who is slow or no to respond? So they are just the worst at communicating in the world. You send a message on a question because maybe you don't understand a rule and you're trying to get this deal done because Thursday night's game's coming and you need this player and it's only Monday or Tuesday, no response. Now it's Wednesday, no response. That kind of commissioner would drive, I won't say would drive me, say has driven me insane when they just aren't responsive to the league mates. We all have things going on in life, but you're the commish. Maybe you've got to get a co-commish to help you out. But
in that instance, I probably would because I mean, the way I like to operate, I like to keep myself readily available because you know people hitting me up all the time. Hey, can you send this trade through? Or, hey, what you think of this? You know, so yeah, that right there, that was just it'll kill interest of wanting to compete in that league. I mean, obviously, being a money league, the interest is going to be there, but it's like when you have a commish who is slow to respond. I mean, you're talking about 2-3 days. You're talking about affecting potentially that manager's outcome when they could be in the middle of a playoff spot, and this trade could have kind of put them in a really good position to make a run, but because you didn't respond, and the Thursday night game for the new week is playing. Trade didn't go through, and I'm kind of stuck to where I'm at, and it's just a lose-lose for everybody involved.
Yeah. How about this one? For those money leagues, show me the money, collecting and paying out. Best practice.
Well, first, when it comes to collecting, collecting promptly, that's where an issue can come in at. I one thing that I do to hold myself accountable and to hold my league mates accountable, when I lay out the outline for the upcoming season, it ain't 1 week before the deadline is due. This is 1-2 months in advance, so it's no excuse as to
skin in the game.
Why you can't. Now, I will say this. Now, in the past, I personally told league mates, because I understand life happens, So if you have any issues when it comes to, paying your league fee, reach out to me so I'll at least be in the loop. Don't let the deadline pass. Now I gotta hound you down.
Yep.
Saying, hey, what's going on? Because everybody else been paid, but you haven't. Because now I gotta be a little bit harder on you because you're not communicating with me. But when it comes to paying out, typically when end of week 16, sometimes opening week 17, payouts are usually distributed to those who were in first or third, whatever place, what have you. But and this past year, it was a little bit longer because I had just recently had my last baby, so it was a lot going on. So and I reached out to my my league mates about the situation. A lot of them didn't even know I was expecting, so it kind of just took them by surprise. But because of the relationship that I've established with them over 3, 4, 5, 6 years, it was just a no gimme. Whereas if it was a player first time in, they might kind of raise a couple eyebrows, like, "Hey, man, what's up?"
Oh yeah. No, I will tell my league mates, pay in plenty of time, and I'll take 3 easy installments of $19.95. So
there you go.
I'll take a payment plan. I don't care. I got a spreadsheet. I keep it all listed in there. I know what money is. It's sitting there waiting for you. Let's go. And you know what? I expect to be paid into the league quickly, and I expect to pay them out quickly because it's just right. What else are you gonna do? So what else are some good no-nos for commissioners? How about don't twist the rules to your own advantage, especially when they aren't written?
See that right there? That messes with league integrity. League integrity is something I take very seriously because it makes me. I mean, when I'm looking at these leagues that I run, I treat them like brands, like a business. If I'm, running unethical, unhealthy practices, that's not gonna be a good look on me,
Nope.
So I have to make sure that I'm doing things the right way because that's how you build trust with your league mates. Because trust could be gone just like that.
That trust is huge. Any other closing tips for him? I'm good. I think of a million more, but on the spot,
I got a closing tip.
All right, what's that?
For anybody out there who plans on being a first-time commissioner, don't be afraid to make a mistake. We all got to learn somehow. Just get out there and have fun with it.
Yep, and don't be afraid to reach out to former commissioners of your league or people who commission other leagues, because most commissioners, unless they're disgruntled, are more than glad to take you under the wing and show you a few things. Even though your leagues can be set up differently, different people, different settings, they, there's a little pride in the commissioner realm between folk, and so we like to help each other out. So
Exactly.
all right, so we're gonna sign off here. I can be found on Twitter at Bob's Three Toed, on YouTube Bob's Three Toed Warriors, and listen to the new shows that drop Monday and Thursdays mornings, bright and early, like 3 o'clock in the morning Central. So you are probably still hungover coming home from the bar, although it's Monday or Thursday. You shouldn't be. Well, Sunday night. No, you still shouldn't be. Anyway, you can listen to new shows. Don't forget to watch the Fantasy Football Hump Day Happy Hour. I got to change that name to something much shorter. On Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central. That's all for this show. It's been Bob's Three Toed Warriors with Commissioner Breeze, reminding you that soon enough you'll be able to hit the waiver wire, set your lineups, and dominate your opponents. But for now, see you.